Imagine a figure whose name hasn't faded into the dust of centuries. He was not only an emperor, but also a philosopher. A man who ruled the greatest empire on earth while fighting a silent war within, against his thoughts, passions, and fears. His name was Marcus Aurelius. Surrounded by luxury, betrayal, and war, he managed to preserve inner stillness and wisdom. Today, we turn to his words to understand how a 2,000-year-old philosophy can help rescue the modern mind. The world has changed, but the nature of suffering hasn't. We are no longer besieged by barbarians, but we are besieged by anxiety, information overload, depression, and the emptiness that comes from chasing expectations that aren't our own. We've lost control, not of technology, but of ourselves. And this is where Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics become not just interesting, but essential. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he wrote in his journal. This is the very core of Stoicism: control over your inner world. And in an era where the outer world is more chaotic than ever, this is not just a nice idea, like it's a shield, armor, sword, and anchor. The first principle, the dichotomy of control. There are things we control, our actions, our judgments, our responses, and things we don't. The past, other people's opinions, outcomes. Every time we suffer, we confuse these two realms. A Stoic is someone who has trained themselves to release what is not up to them and focus entirely on what is. Example, a person is preparing for an important meeting. They feel anxious, afraid of failure. But a Stoic would say, you cannot control the reaction of the other person. You can only control your preparation, your words, your presence. Everything else is beyond your power. That is freedom. The second principle, amor fati, the love of fate. It's not passive resignation. It's the active acceptance of all that happens as part of a greater path. Pain, failure, betrayal, they are not enemies but teachers. Marcus wrote, "What happens to you has been waiting to happen to you." In today's world where every setback feels like a tragedy, this principle is a cold splash of clarity. Imagine you get fired. Instead of collapsing, the Stoic says, this is a chance. This is the path. This is the lesson. The Stoic transforms suffering into fuel. The third principle, moral autonomy. For the Stoic, there is no authority higher than the inner compass. He does not live by others' standards. He is not shaped by the noise of the crowd. His actions flow from reason, integrity, and internal clarity. In a world of likes, trends, and validation, this is a radical act of rebellion. The fourth principle, memento mori. Remember death. Not as a dark obsession, but as a source of awareness. Life is slipping away quickly. Today is all we truly have. That makes every action sacred, every word significant, every decision eternal. The Stoic does not procrastinate. He acts because he knows time is not a resource. Time is us. To waste a day is to waste a part of yourself. Marcus wrote, "You live as if you were destined to live forever, but everything hangs by a thread." Now we must ask the central question, why does this work? Why would a philosophy born in a Roman war tent help in the age of smartphones and anxiety? Because the mind has not changed. Human nature has not changed, but conditions have. Life has become much more comfortable, and at the same time, much harder. We are surrounded by ease, yet our minds have grown softer, weaker, and more prone to distress and dependency. The craving for control, the fear of loss, the pain of meaninglessness, they remain. Stoicism is not the suppression of emotion, it is the art of governing it. The Stoic feels, but he is not enslaved by feeling. He watches his emotions like clouds drifting across the sky of consciousness. He learns to be the observer, not a victim, not a punisher, a master. Let's return to the modern world. Social media tells us we're not beautiful enough, not successful enough, not interesting enough. Algorithms trap us in cycles of external validation. But the Stoic asks, why strive to be better in others' eyes if I am not better in my own? The fifth principle, living in accordance with nature. That means not going against our human essence. And our essence is reason, justice, courage, temperance. A Stoic is not a robot. He is alive, but disciplined, honest. He does not suppress himself. He trains himself in the name of freedom. Isn't that what we lack today? Will, boundaries, principles. We've lost our internal framework. We drift in the currents of others' expectations, forgetting that we can rise and become the rock. The strength of a Stoic lies in his daily decision. He doesn't wait for motivation. He doesn't say, I'm not in the mood. He acts. Because he knows that meaning is not something you find. It is something you build through action. Look at Marcus Aurelius. He didn't write his thoughts for others. He wrote them for himself. These were the pages of a lonely mind trying to stay honest in a world full of temptation. He didn't want to be an idol. He wanted to remain human. And now, 2,000 years later, his words still support us. They remind us that strength is not in loud actions, but in quiet resilience. That wisdom is not knowing everything, but living simply. That freedom is not doing anything you want. It's not being ruled by what you want. And so, the verdict. Modern man is not weak. He has simply forgotten who he can become. He is not lost, calmly drowned in noise. Philosophy is not theory, it's medicine. Accepting Stoicism takes time and repeated practice, but it literally rewires your brain on a biological level. You become mentally stronger, more resilient, and perhaps even truly happy, in a way that doesn't rely on circumstances. Stoicism is not the past, it is a manual. And Marcus Aurelius, not a myth, but a living reminder of what we can be when we reclaim the reins of our own minds. Let us end with words that should echo in anyone who is tired of chaos. If it hurts, you're climbing. Remember, your soul is stronger than you think. You are not weak. You just haven't mastered yourself yet. But that can be changed. And it begins with a choice right now.